மௌனமாமுரையார் காட்டும் மா பிரம்மவத்துவாலன் சிவநிலை தவசற்சீட செரிகுருவரன் சிற்கையன் உவகையோருருவன் தன்னுள் உவப்பவன் கழிமூகத்தன் அவனையான் தென்பான்மூர்த்தி அப்பனை ஏத்துவோமே அவனையான் தென்பான்மூர்த்தி அப்பனை ஏத்துவோமே. We shall read the Mangala Shloka. ஆன்மாவின் போதமருள் ஆசானாம் சங்கரனோ ஆன்மாவுக்கண்ணியன் ஆவனோ ஆன்மாவாய் என்னகத்தே இருந்தின்று தமிழ் சொல்வானும் அன்னவ நன்றி மற்றார். From 32 or 33? 32. உடலுக்கு வேறெனக் குண்டாதல் மூத்தல் ஓடு குன்றல் சாவு முதல் ஒன்றா படர்ந்த ஒளி முற்புலன்களோடொன்றலனக்கின்றே அலன் பொறிகளானதால் ஆனதலால் அலன் பொறிகள் ஆனதலால் மனமலனானாதலான் மண்ணு துயராசை மனமலனானாதலன் ஆதலான் மண்ணு துயராசை சினமச்சமாதியனை சேரா இனமாக அப்பிரானன் மனமில்லான் சுத்தனென்று மறை செப்புகின்றதன்றோ தெளி நிர்குணன் நிரஞ்சனன் நித்தன் நிராகாரன் நிர்விகாரன் சுத்தன் நிஷ்கிரியன் நிர்விகற்பன் நித்தமுக்தன் முன் நிகழ்த்திடப்பட்டவை அத்தனையும் நான் என்றறி ஆகாயம் போல அகிலத்துள் உள்வெளியான் சாகாதான் சர்வசமன் சித்தன் தேகாதி யாவற்றும் பற்றற்றான் என்றும் அமலன் சலியான் ஆவனான் என்றே அறி எது நித்தம் சுத்தம் எது முக்தம் ஏகம் எது அகண்டபின் விரண்டில்லது எது சத்து சித்தனந்தமாகும் திகழப் பரபிரம்ம வத்து யானேயாமதி. So yesterday's class we saw Adi Shankara saying, I am not the body, therefore the dharmas of the body is not mine. Like to be born and to grow, to decay and to die away. These dharmas belong to the body and not to me, because I am not the body. In me, the true self, there is no body. Similarly, the prana I am not, the mind also I am not. Indriyas I am not, and mind I am not. Therefore, the dharmas of the indriyas, that is the indriya vishayas, are not there for me. And the emotions and thoughts which are rising in the mind, I have nothing to do with that. So I am Shuddhan. And then he goes on to say, what is his true self? In the verse 34, 35, 36 and all, Nirgunan, Niranjanan, Nittan, Nirakaran, Nirvikaran, Shuddhan, Nishkriyan, like that. He goes on revealing what is his true nature. Nirvikarpan, Nittamuktan, Mun Nigaltidapattavi, Attanayum Nan Endari. So all these things are me and me alone, meaning these are my true nature. So like that we have seen. And now moving on to the 37th verse. நிரந்திரம் இவ்வாறு நிகழ்த்தப்படுமா பிரம்மமேயானாவன் என்னும் உறுதி அழிக்குமறியாமை அலைவுகளை நோய்கள் ஒழிக்குமிரசாயனமொத்து நிரந்தரம் இவ்வாறு நிகழ்த்தப்படுமா பிரம்மமேயானாவன் என்னும் உறுதி அழிக்குமறியாமை அலைவுகளை நோய்கள் ஒழிக்குமிரசாயனமொத்து நிரந்தரம் இவ்வாறு நிகழ்த்தப்படும் அப்பிரம்மே யானாவன் என்னும் உறுதி. See, like in the last 2-3 verses, whatever we have seen as the nature of the Brahman. So, Nirandaram Ivvaru. Ivvaru means as I have spoken to you. Nirandaram, always if you meditate or contemplate, like what? Like whatever I have said in last few shlokas, Brahmame Yanavan Innum Urudi. If you meditate that Brahman is my own self. Aham Brahmasmi. That Brahman, Yanavan Innum Urudi. Meaning what? When you meditate, when you contemplate, continuous, Nirandaram, continuously if you contemplate, then you gain a clarity And also a conviction, maybe the akandhakara vritti. You develop a sort of a urdi. Urdi means what? A strong conviction that azhikkum ariyamai alaivugalai, that will destroy all the ignorance. What is ignorance? Taking the body to be myself. Body and mind to be myself is the ignorance. So this contemplation that I am that Brahman, Satchitananda Brahman, Satyam Jnanam Ananta Brahma, like whatever he has spoken in last 2-3 verses. So that Brahman I am, that is my true self. So thus if you contemplate, whatever clarity and whatever conviction you gain, that will destroy all the ignorance. Ariyam ennum alaivugalai. Alaivugalai means the waves, or means all the ignorance, whatever in the heart, it destroys. Like what? Another example is given. Noigal odikkum rasayanamuttu. Whenever you fall ill, noigal, diseased, then you take medicine, na? That is called here as a rasayanam. Some chemicals only, na? The medicine means what? Some chemical only, na? So those chemicals or those medicines, how they remove the diseases, the illness, like that, this aham brahmasmi chintanam, that removes all the ignorance of the heart. So this is a medicine for all our illness. So now we are so convinced that I am this body. So such conviction you should gain that I am the Brahman. Now how we are convinced without any doubt that I am this. So like that strong conviction you have to gain that I am Brahman, not this body, I am that Brahman. For that what you have to do? Continuously you have to educate your mind and tell yourself, this is a bhavana, you have to entertain, keep always, that I am that Brahma Swarupam. I have nothing to do with the senses and the sense objects. I have nothing to do with the mind and the thoughts or emotions in the mind. I am just Sakshi Matram. I am that Brahma Swarupam. I am the substratum of the whole universe. Everything rises in me, falls in me. And I am imperishable. I am that Brahman. Like that if you contemplate. If you are unable to contemplate Anavardham, at least morning and evening, if you can allocate some time and start somewhere, contemplating, meditating, then you gain that clarity and conviction. That conviction grows when it becomes very firm, like now how we feel I am the body. Like that if it grows and becomes very strong, very intense, very firm, then that will destroy all the ignorance. Like the medicine which destroys all the illness. Like that this destroys. So therefore we have to cultivate this Brahma Chintanam or Atma Chintanam or Brahma Atma Aikya Chintanam. This is what we have to cultivate. And moving on. And how we have to practice this, the practical tips he is giving here. Ekanda desat irundasai inri veli போகாது வென்று பொறிகளை ஏகமாய் அந்தமில் ஆன்மாவை அந்நியமில் புந்தியனாய் சிந்திக்க வேண்டும் தெரி ஏகாந்த தேசத்திருந்தாசை இன்றி வெளி போகாது வென்று பொறிகளை ஏகமாய் அந்தமில் ஆன்மாவை அந்நியமில் புந்தியனாய் சிந்திக்க வேண்டும் தெரி. How we have to meditate, contemplate on this self? ஏகாந்த தேசத்து இருந்து. irundu, seated in a place where you will not be disturbed. Ekhandam. Ekhandam means what? You are seated alone. Meaning you have to choose such a place where there are no disturbances. Meaning where you are sitting alone. Ekhandam. Ekhandavasam. So always we try to live as single only, as a seeker. Meaning what? Ekhandam means undisturbed. Why? Because at least you can cut off all those disturbances, no? Whatever is possible. As I told you yesterday, if you sit in a, let us say, in a dirty place where there are mosquitoes, flies and all, then continuously you are disturbed. At least you can choose a place, clean place, where there are no flies, house flies, and where there are no mosquitoes, or you can have mosquito net and all. Suppose, let us say, if you sit just next to your kitchen, when your wife is cooking, sambara, so you will be disturbed. So, ekhandam is suggested here. Ekantam, desatti irundu, not disturbed by anything. ஆசையின்றி வெளிப்போகாது வென்று பொறிகளை. ஆசையின்றி, giving up all the desires. ஆசையின்றி வெளிப்போகாது வென்று பொறிகளை. Conquiring all the senses, பொறிகளை means வெளிப்போகாது. Meaning you restrain the senses so that they don't go out. Meaning the senses go out through the eyes and see the forms, through the ears hear the sounds. So do not allow the senses to run riot. Meaning shut all the doors and windows. Meaning what? These are the doors and windows. Shut. But Swamiji, how to shut the ears? Panja vachukanuma? Cotton? No, you need not keep the cotton. Just allow the sound to come and go. Don't bother about it. Allow the smell to come and go. Don't be bothered about it. Similarly for the sense of touch. So just ignore them. Be indifferent to them. Do not give any value to them.
How can that happen?
Just be there. When it comes, let it come. When it goes, let it go. You don't be bothered. Don't react saying, why there is sound? Don't ask. There will be sound only. See, even if there is no blaring sound of the, let us say, the mic speaker, but there will be bird chirping, na? So there will be trees moving, na? Some sound will be heard only. So don't worry about that. So let it come and go. Now we are not interested in all this. That is the idea. That is vendru, porigalai. So that is how you restrain your senses. Egamai, andamil anmavai. Andamil anmavai means what? Which is shining as one. Egamai, shining as one. Andamil anmavai, which is shining as without the beginning or without end. Endless or infinite. Andamil anmavai, anniyamil bundiyanai. Anniyamil bundiyanai means without thinking anything else. Anniyamil bundiyanai. Without thinking anything else. Bundiyanai means with that kind of a buddhi, ekagra chittam, sindikka vendum tari. You have to meditate on this Atma, the self. So first and foremost, you have to conquer your senses. By what? By educating it and not reacting to any sense impulses. And then you have to meditate only on that one. விடுக்கவே ஓர் வழி உந்தி வர வீயும் அதன் நூறு உந்தி பர. ஒடுக்க வழியை ஒடுங்கு முழத்தை விடுக்கவே ஓர் வழி உந்தி பர வீயும் அதன் நூறு உந்தி பர. So that mind you have to employ on meditating on the one. So when you come to Adi Shankara, he says you meditate on this Parabrahma Paramatma as my own self. Andamil anmavai. Andamil means what? Which has got no end, or which is ever present. Andamil anmavai anniyamil bundiyanai. Anniyamil bundiyanai means without thinking of anything else. with one point attention. Sindikka vendum. You have to contemplate on this. So those days, at the age of 7, 8, they perform this Upanayana ceremony, Upanayana, the sacred thread. And then they give the mantra, Gayatri mantra, for that young boy. So that from that young age, he does japa of Gayatri mantra, 108 or 1008, whatever. So thus he gains concentration of the mind. So when he grows, for him, when you ask him to sit, it is not a difficult task for him. Already he has prepared himself from the very young age. Gayatri mantra means you have to sit and chant mantra, keep your mind only on the mantra, don't allow the mind to wander here and there. Just meditate or just concentrate on the mantra. Thus he has been initiated when he was very young. So when he grows older, when a guru asks him to sit quiet and meditate on one, for him it won't be difficult. But now for us, we have spoilt our mind all these days. We have never ever tried to make it single pointed. So at the age of 30, 40, 50, suddenly one day if you ask the mind, no, don't think of anything, now think only of Atma, the mind will not cooperate with you. What happened to you suddenly? You are all right now all these days. Why do you want me to meditate on something? Why do you? It will ask you a question. What happened to you? No. Now I have become a seeker. I want to know the self. Podum, I'm seeking now. I want to watch a cinema now. Then you have to fight with your mind, struggle with your mind, because you have not trained your mind. But if you have trained your mind from the early days onwards, the mind will be tamed. It will listen to you. Another 1 hour, you have to sit quiet and meditate. Okay, to sit quiet. Anniyamil bundiyanai, without thinking of anything else. Okay. You have to meditate only on this idea that I am Brahman. So the dharmas of the body mind doesn't belong to me. I am that Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, that I am. Mind will meditate on. That is how you have to meditate. This is according to Adi Shankara. This is higher Vedantic meditation. Whatever we seen is, wherever we have seen in the Devika Lotram is what? Sarvasunya Pada Dhyanam. And whatever we have seen in the Atma Sakshatkara Prakaranam is what? Sarvatmya Bhavam. Thinking everything is a self. And here it is what? Thinking about that Brahman I am. What is that Brahman? As we have spoken now. This is the Brahman and that is I am. No, thus you meditate. Moving on. And in Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter, still further practical tips are given. How you have to sit. All those stuff. And where you have to concentrate. All those tips were given in Gita. If you want, you can go and refer to Gita chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga. Buddhiman kanum porulevayum anmavil. Buddhiyal onral purivitte. Shuddhamam. Vinnena ஒன்றாய் விளங்கிடும் ஆன்மாவை எண்ணுக எப்போதுமே புத்திமான் காணும் பொருளெவையும் ஆன்மாவில் புத்தியால் ஒன்றல் புரிவித்தே சுத்தமாம் விண்ணென ஒன்றாய் விளங்கிடும் ஆன்மாவை எண்ணுக எப்போதுமே. How beautifully he is giving this Upadesha. You know, with so much of love and compassion, he is giving out this Upadesha. He says, Buddhiman, one who is intelligent, what he has to do? Kanum Purulevayum. Whatever is seen, seen means even known. Drishya padartha means whatever is seen or heard or known. Khanum purlavayum Anmavil buddhiyal vandal purivitte. Buddhiyal means what? Through your proper discrimination, thinking, Anmavil vandal purivitte. Now you merge everything in Anma, the self. How to merge? Now you have to tell yourself, whatever is seen is Atma, the self only. Whatever is heard is Atma, the self only. Whatever is thought about also is Atma, the self only. There is nothing other than the Atma. So everything is Atma, the self only. There is only Atma, the self. Like that, if you educate the mind will not go away. As long as the mind feels there is something else in the world outside, and there is an opportunity for it to gain pleasure, the mind will not keep quiet. As long as the mind is excited about something external, let us say your girlfriend is coming, say from somewhere, from US, from Hong Kong, somewhere she is coming, let us say. When you go and sit for meditation, the mind will sit or what? It will be very excited. Oh, she is going to come. Oh, she is going to come. After a long time she is coming. How will I welcome her? Should I take a bouquet? What should I do? Blah, 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 blah. So you said, shut up. Now you sit and meditate on Atma, the self. What Atma, the self? The mind will be very excited. Why? She is coming after a long time. I am going to see her. I'll just go and hug her. That is how the mind will run out. So as long as it has got some interest in the world outside, it will not settle down inside, you know. And you have got a lot of engagements the whole day. The mind will not settle down. You will always be thinking about those engagements. So 11 to 12 I have to do that, then, you know. Even if you say, shut up, sit quiet, listen for some time, and without your knowledge it will go. So anyway, Acharya is coming, now what should I do? I should clean my room, I should do this, I should do that. Mind will run. So unless you give up everything outside, that is why it is said, you should not have any attachment to the world outside. You should not be excited by anything in the world outside. Then only you can sit quiet. I tell you. That is why it is very hard. And what you should do, whenever you hear something, let us say, and you say, this sound is also nothing but the self only. Whatever smell, this is also the self only. Whatever thoughts arise, this is also self only. There is nothing other than the self. Like that, yesterday I told you, everything is offered unto the self. Like Ahudi. Everything is self only. So when you merge everything in the self, saying that there is nothing other than the self, now you meditate on the self. There is nothing other than the self. There is only the self. So you meditate on the self. That alone can liberate you. That alone is the last refuge. That is the only refuge. So you meditate on that. Thus you meditate. That is why Vairagya is very important. Vairagya means you are not excited about anything in the world outside. See, in the manasukku ippadhaan puriyapodho theriyala. The world outside, whatever you gain, is very temporary and fleeting. See, it can tickle your senses for some time, but more than that, what it can give you. See, one more thing, once one of our teachers, they told me, it's very, very illuminating, very revealing. See, you feel, when I see my girlfriend, when I be with her, I would be very happy, you say. You feel or you think that she will give you happiness. But that poor jiva, she herself is wanting happiness from somewhere. She is searching for happiness. So when she herself is a beggar, searching for some happiness, how can she give you happiness? Please think about this. All of us are begging for some pleasure, some happiness, some peace of mind. So when that person is himself or herself is seeking for happiness like a beggar, how can you get happiness from that person? See, this is a very wonderful thought actually. Nobody can give you happiness because they themselves are searching for it. Because they feel they don't have anything. See, when somebody come and tell me, yeah, I'm just telling you the secret, or openly I'm telling you, Swamiji, please come to our house. உங்களுடைய திருவடிகள் பட்டாலே எங்களுடைய let your feet touch the floor. Then there will be prosperity. Then we will be happy. Then I wonder, every day my feet is touching my kutia, nothing is happening. Why these people are telling? Just let the feet, just let it be here, placed here in our house. See, all these things, I don't know whether they really believe in it or chumma floweria they talk, we don't know. But I always wonder. So, that poor thing, he or she herself is searching for happiness, very confused soul. And she is in depression, maybe, we don't know what frame of mind she is. How can she give you happiness? So if you expect to get happiness from that poor thing, you are an idiot. Is that not so? So that is why Gurudev says, you give happiness. Don't expect happiness. You go and give happiness to the world. Because everybody is seeking only that. You give happiness. Don't ever give dukkha. Already there is so much of dukkha in the world. You need not add to it. I tell you, this is very serious business. We should keep it in our mind always. Already there is sufficient dukkha in this world. If at all possible, we have to give only happiness to the people around. We should not add to that dukkha. Why? Why should we? So therefore, this mind should be taught that happiness is not in the world outside. Everybody is searching. So you turn within. The source of all happiness is within. That is how we have to turn the mind, educate the mind. So whatever is seen outside, everything is self only. Like that you have to merge everything in the self. That is what he is saying. Buddhiman, the wise one, kanum porul evayum. Whatever he is seeing or hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, thinking, Anmavir buddhiyal vandal purivitte. Buddhiyal means with the intellect, Anmavil vandal purivitte, merging it in the self. Vandal purivitte. Suddhamam vinnena vandrai vilangidum Anmavai ennuga eppodume. Shuddhamam, always pure. Nirmalamai. Vinnena vandrai vilangidum, like the space. Vinnena means like the space. Vin means space. Vinnena vandrai vilangidum. It is one without the second. Vilangidum Anmavai ennuga eppodume. So now contemplate on this self, which is like space, which cannot be divided as one. And Shuddhamam, Nirmalamam. Why? The space cannot be contaminated, tainted by anything. So thus you think about the Atma, the self. So whatever we study in the Atma Sakshatkar Prakanam also is said now. Now you have to think everything is Atma, the self. Sarvatmya Bhava. See, this is what we have to do when we sit for meditation. First step is we have to surrender everything to the Guru Maharaj. Guru is the self only. So we have to surrender means what? Oh Lord, I don't know anything. I am your child. I do not know the goal. I do not know the path. Please guide me. Everything is offered unto you. With that bhavana. So you take care of everything. With that spirit of surrender, you have to sit. Then, you gain so much of clarity, strength, and so much of confidence. Why? He is there within. He will guide me. See, this is not a story. This is truth. Guru is, our own self is the Guru actually. And then you sit and then you shut all the senses and don't entertain any thoughts. If at all thoughts arises, you say, there is only Atma, the self, there is nothing else. Whatever is seen here, everything is Atma, there is nothing else. Therefore, the Atma alone is, so that is myself. So I now give all the attention only to the self. Whatever I understand as self, and remain there. Like that, if you can meditate on Atma, the self, that is how you have to go about. How beautiful. உள்ளதுணர்ந்தோன் உருவம் வருண முதல் உள்ள மயல்கள் ஒருங்கொழித்து உள்ளம் திகழ் பரிபூர்ண சிதானந்தம் தானா திகழ்ந்திடுவன் நாளும் தெளி உள்ளதுணர்ந்தோன் உருவம் வருண முதல் உள்ள மயல்கள் ஒருங்கொழித்து உள்ளம் திகழ் பரிபூர்ண சிதானந்தம் தானா திகழ்ந்திடுவன் நாளும் தெளி. So, உள்ளது உணர்ந்தோன், one who has realized the truth, which is உள்ளது, which is, உள்ளது means which is, உள்ளது உணர்ந்தோன், one who has realized that உருவம் வருணம் முதல் உள்ள மயல்கள் ஒருங்கொழிந்து, mayal means mayakam, the delusion of the mind. So he initially or earlier he was deluded. When he looks at a form, then he takes that form to be real, and then he also sees the guna, the qualities, the varna, the color, these differences he sees. You understand? These differences he perceives, and then he is deluded totally. He thinks there are so many objects, different from each other, different from me. When he realizes the self, the Satchit Swarupam, now he sees everything as Satchit Swarupam. So for him, the delusion of the differences due to the form, the guna and the color, etc. has vanished once and for all. See, உள்ளது உணர்ந்தோன், one who realizes that truth, the self. Uruvam, uruvam means form. Varunam means the color. In that, gunam also can be added. Gunam means the qualities, the color, etc. உள்ள மயல்கள் ஒருங்கொழிந்து. For him, all this delusion is removed once and for all. So he no more takes the form to be real or the qualities, the varna, the color, etc. as real. For him, his experience is only the self is real. That self is the self of all. For him, the experience is all these names and forms, these gunas, the varnas, everything is just like a mirage, is only the imagination of the mind. For him, the truth is what? The self alone is the truth. And his experience is, his self is the self of all. Or all the self is included in his self. Meaning what? He sees only the one self. So, உள்ள மயல்கள் ஒருங்கொழிந்து, all the delusion has gone. Delusion that there are different objects and beings with different forms, different qualities, colors and shapes. All the delusion has gone from him once and for all when he realizes the truth. How? Don't ask how. You go and see. And what is his experience? His experience is only the self alone is truth. His self alone is the self of all. That is his experience. So, உள்ளம் திகழ் பரிபூர்ண சிதானந்தம் தானாய் திகழ்ந்திடுவன். And உள்ளத்தில், and in his heart, whichever is revealed, shining as Purna Chidanandam, the Purna Paramatma, the Chidananda, the pure existence and the consciousness, தானாய் திகழ்ந்திடுவன், he remains as that only. Theri, please understand. And then he remains only as the self, because he knows the self alone is the truth. The self in him is the self in all. And then the Bhedas, due to the form, due to the gunas, qualities and color, etc., are all delusion of the mind. So he drops everything and then he abides only in the self which is the self of all. And that self is paripuranam. It is complete, full, paripuranam. Siddhanandam Tanai, as only the existence principle, Ulladu existence principle, and the consciousness which is illumining everything. He reminds us that Tihalndiduvan Naalum Thali, always he reminds us that self. So, first he chooses an ekandam, a spot where he is not disturbed much. And then he doesn't allow the senses to go out, run riot. Then he withdraws his mind. And then he thinks that all this is self only. And then he merges everything in the self. And then he realizes the self. When he realizes the self, his vision is the self in him, he is the self in all. The self alone is truth. And the differences created due to the forms, names and forms, gunas, qualities, everything is just mind's creation, it is not true. That is what he realizes. And then he abides in his self, which is Anandam, Paramanandam, which is Chidanandam, Satchidanandam, and which is Tihal Paripuranam. And then ever he remains. After that, there the story ends. Shubham. That is the moksha padam. So what one has to do now? One has to swallow everything and digest it and remain as oneself. In fact, there is nothing to swallow and digest. That you will understand later.
After everything is done, remember.
Yeah, because you know that there is only self. All this is nothing. Like a ghost mind created one. So till then, you have to swallow means what? You have to merge everything in the self, merge everything. After that, when you abide in the self, you know that there was nothing other than the self. So these are the techniques actually. So how many techniques we are learning, see? So many techniques we are learning now. So any one you can follow, or one or two you can integrate. But our Gurudev has taught us, when you are with yourself, when you are meditating, you contemplate on the self, you give attention to the self, dive deep. When you move in the world, have the bhakti bhavana, and then offer everything to the Lord, and take the Lord's name, and be happy, be kind to everyone, don't hurt others unnecessarily. So that is how you have to interact with the world. When you interact with yourself, be very strict, and then abide in the self. When both the things go hand in hand, it complements each other, and then you will finally dive into yourself and remain there, rooted. That is what it is explained here. 41. 41, na? Arivan arivod arivaduva bedam Muru Paramanmavil urade Arivinbu Uruvayonra Yaguduruvadanaltan Uruvale Tanolirummo. Tan Uruvale Tanolirummo. That tan should come with the fourth line. Okay. Arivan arivod aribaduva bedam Uru Paramanmavil urade Arivinbu Uruvayonra Yaguduruvadanattan Uruvale Tanolirummo. See, அறிவான் அறிவோடு அறிபடுவது பேதமெல்லாம் உரு பரமான்மாவில் உராதே. In the true self, in the Paramatma, in the true self, there is no such difference called as Arivan, the knower, Arivu, the knowledge, Aripaduva, Bedam, Aripaduva, the things to be known. This Bedam, these differences, Uru Paramatma will Urade. In Paramatma, none of these differences exist. See? Now, when we are living in the world, when we are ignorant, always we feel, I am, and we see the world other than myself, and there is knowledge of the world. Is that not so? So the seer, the seen, and the seeing, the knower, the known, and the knowledge, this is called as Triputi. These three always we feel, we experience. But when we abide in the self, you will find this Bheda of the knower and the known and the knowledge completely disappearing. Can you imagine this? Pah! There is a state, there is a dimension where this difference of the seer and the seen is totally not. I am awake, I am transacting the world, but in my experience, there is no idea of seer and the seen as separate, as something different. What is that experience? Imagine. See, I am going through all the experience, like what I am seeing, I am talking, and I am eating, sleeping, everything. But somehow, in my knowledge, there is no Bheda whatsoever, as I am the knower and this is known. There is no Bheda. But everything is happening. All the Vyavahara is happening, but somehow there is no idea that I am different from the world which is seen. There is no Bheda Bhavana. Somehow there is only this one. But all the things are happening like before. But somehow this idea of I am different, the world is different, everything else is different, has gone. That is awakening. That is enlightenment. Now distinctly, seer is different. I am. Seen is different. And very many. There's so much of Bheda in the seen also. There is a Bheda between the seer and the seen. And among the seen, so much of Bheda. But now there is an experience where there is no Bheda whatsoever between the seer and the seen, and between the seen also. Absolutely there is no Bheda. Is that possible? It is possible. That's what the saints and sages have been telling you again and again. There is only one. The Bheda is all mind created. Because of the body identification, all these Bhedas are created. If you are abiding in the self, it shines as one, and where the differences between the seer and the seen, the knower and the known, absolutely gone. So Arivan, Arivodu, Aribaduva Bedam. Arivan means the knower. Aribadu means the known. Arivu means the knowledge. Knowledge of that particular object. In the Bedam, all these differences, Uru Paramatma will Urade. In the Paramatma, in the self, it is not seen. So when you are meditating on the Lord, initially there you are there, the meditator, and the Lord is there meditated upon. But when you intensely meditate, the meditator and the meditated upon become one. Somehow the differences go. Everything is gone. And there is one. Then what remains? Arivinbu Uruvai, Ondrai. Arivindu Uruvai. And how I shine, how the self shines, Arivu Inbu Uruvai. Chidanandam. Arivu means Chit. Inbam means bliss. Arivu Inbu Uruvai means what? Chidananda Swaroopaha. Shivoham. So, Arivindu Uruvai, Ondrai, has one. Uruvadanathan. Uruvada, Tan Uruvale, Tan Olirumor. And Tan Uruvale, Tan Olirum is what? It is known by itself. Tan Uruvale, Tan Olirum. It is known by itself. Because it is one in Solyach. Then how is it known? It is known by itself. Tan Uruval, Le Tan Olirum. Or, please understand, it is illuminated by itself. It is known by itself. There is no knower unknown. We have done away with the knower unknown. No, there. Then how it is known? Without a knower, how it is known? It will be known by itself. Because it is pure knowledge. Sun means light. To see the sun, there is no other light is required. Similarly, self means knowledge. To know the self, there is no other knowledge is required. In its own light, it is revealed. In its own knowledge, it is revealed. You understand what he is saying? See, in the world, we always know with the knower and the known and the knowledge. This Tripudi is gone there. Then naturally the doubt arises. Then how it will be known? There is no Tripudi, there is no knower, there is no known. Then how it will be known? It will be known by itself. Because it is a knowledge. Swayam Prakasham, correct. By its own light it is revealed. Swayam Prakashaha. What is that actually? It is infinite bliss. Arivindu. Arivindu means what? It is Chidanandam. So everything can be realized when this ego goes, when the knower goes. When the knower goes, along with it all the known also goes. The Bheda goes between the knower and the known. And what remains is the self. In that self, there is no Bheda whatsoever. Then also the life continues. Then also the Swami, he conducts his classes. Then also he talks with the people. Then also he travels. But in him somehow there is no idea of the Swami as a separate entity who is interacting with other entities. Even though the interaction is happening, even though the knowledge is shared, everything is happening, somehow there is no idea of the Swami as a separate existence and the people as separate existence. Somehow the idea is there is only the self. How? Don't howl. You have to go and see, because it cannot be explained. It cannot be grasped through intellect or the mind. We have to first have faith in these masters and try to walk in the path shown by them. Then you will see. That is Shraddha. And even now, that is the truth. Even now, when we are ignorant also, that is the truth. Sadhakattile duvidam sattiyattil attuvidam moduhindra vadamadam unmayala. Meaning what? When I am doing sadhana, when I am ignorant, this is truth. What? Dvaita is truth. When I realize Advaita is truth, no. Even now, this is the story. Somehow we have confused ourselves and somehow we are seeing the Bhodam, we are taking it real, and then we get attached, we suffer. Even now, how is it? There is only one shining. The Bhodam is all mind created, it is all not true. Like the ghost, it is not true. The Bheda is mind created. It is not. It is all fantastic actually. So tomorrow we will see the rest. Om Purnamadha Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudhachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Today we have covered